Good afternoon. It is Nick Cameron from Glacially Musical. How are we all doing today? Oh, I look funny. Hang on. Let me put my glasses on. There we go. That's better. Well, how are we all holding up? As you saw at the top of the post for this one, it's been rough for us, but we're keeping on. So everybody just normally I would say happy pandemic, but it's not been happy for me. No, it's been, let me rephrase, it's been especially painful for me and my family. So, pet your kitties, hug your loved ones, let everybody know how you feel. But in the meantime, we are looking at some actual records. So in the meantime, I need to get a beer, because I don't have a beer. Should I drink a Surly, which we now get in St. Louis, or Cigar City Brewing, or everybody, which means me, favorite STL IPA, or the Stalipa. I'm going with the Stalipa. The little camera girl says go with the Stalipa, so she knows what she's talking about. She's 9. She knows what beer I drink. So we're gonna drink the Stalipa out of the National Mall Map pint glass. In fact, I think we need to get a St. Louis pint glass to be like this. I guess I could have grabbed one of my Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues pint glasses, but I didn't do that. So, just kind of sputtering along here while I pour. But what we are talking about today, we are looking now at the era of Pink Floyd where Dave and Roger were completely separated from each other, and the power struggle, the culture war as it were, is already been fought during Wish You Were Here and won by Roger. So Roger is now in charge of all of it. So interestingly enough, we start with David Gilmour's first solo record. It's a good record. I really enjoy it. I got this I actually got it for, I believe, $15 at an antique mall in St. Louis, which, very, happy to pay that because it costs $5 to ship, so anything minimum. So it's a good record. It's him and his band before Pink Floyd doing an album together. I like the fact that they don't just have this as a David Gilmour solo record. It is laid out as though this were the band that we didn't see. So, you got Dave and his buddies in the back. It's just listed as David Gilmour because, of course, that's going to sell a lot more than the London Rats, or, I'm sorry, I don't remember what they were called. So, drink. It's a fun record. It's obviously not Pink Floyd. It sounds almost nothing like Pink Floyd. Cool cover on the back. You got a better, clearer visual of the three guys. Track listing, of course, and all the good stuff. But I really dig the layout because it's got pictures of them from when they were much younger, when they're hanging out having fun, old gigs they played. It's cool. It's the only solo album I know where they did anything like that. On the inside, I don't have any liner notes. I don't know if it came with it, and my copy just didn't have it, but I don't have any. Of course, it was released on Columbia, which no surprise there, because that's Pink Floyd's label. It's a good record. It's not as good, in my opinion, as any of the Roger Waters records, but as noted, I am quickly moving into Roger Waters' apologist level. So, next, we go on to the masterpiece, the magnum opus, as it were. This is still my absolute favorite Pink Floyd record, and I think the smartest thing during the Great Divorce, when it became official and legal, that Roger did was he retained ownership of the Wall. My copy is one of the most recent, I believe it was 2016 remasters, 180 grams, all that good stuff. You have the Gerald Scarfe artwork, which was used extensively in the movie, extensively on the tour. All amazing stuff. See? Gerald Scarfe. On the inside, everything, let's see, what is this? Here we go, side one. In the Flesh, this is the album that I listened to when I was growing up, when I needed to feel better, that I needed to cope. This album will always have a very, very special place for me. And I really, this album is actually, this particular copy of this particular version of The Wall is interesting because it is, I believe, the only record, Pink Floyd or otherwise, that my wife was willing to purchase. She bought it for me for Christmas a few years ago, but from her and my daughter. Interestingly enough, I don't know if you can see this if you come in close, this is a sticker. The original pressings of this album were just blank, and in future pressings they added the logo. Don't know why, but they did. And the last album is, however you want to look at it, a Pink Floyd record or Roger Waters' first solo album. As said in the article, it's very different than all of the other Pink Floyd records. It makes a great segue into Waters' the pros and cons of hitchhiking. It doesn't sound like Pink Floyd, possibly because Roger's singing 90% of it, but he sang 90% of Animals as well, and that still sounded like Pink Floyd. The difference is, this is the only Pink Floyd record from beginning to end that doesn't feature Rick Wright. Rick Wright was fired during the Wall sessions, but he was hired on as a studio hand and hired on as a salary musician for the tour. But this one's great. It's got the poppy and I don't know what those are called, but the medals, I guess. As you can see, I really dig this picture because it shows how he feels about conservative leadership in the requiem of the post-war dream. So, the final cut, a requiem for the post-war dream by Roger Waters, performed by Pink Floyd. He is outwardly stating quite clearly this is his album. It's not a Pink Floyd album, and it is for Eric. It's for Eric Fletcher, his father. Writing songs about his father who died in World War II worked well for The Wall, he decided to probably work well for the final cut. Not nearly as well received as that. This is interesting. Interestingly enough, about this album, there are several songs on it that Roger performed in tour because it is also the only Pink Floyd album that they didn't tour for. But it's not Pink Floyd. It's less Pink Floyd than A Momentary Lapse of Reason, which didn't feature Roger. But it's a far better record than A Momentary Lapse of Reason or The Division Bell for that matter. But in the meantime, what do you think? Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? Let me know how you feel. And that is it. Thank you much.